This morning, I sat in my usual coffee shop, the small roadside cafe where I used to stop every morning before going to the office. But today is different. No more spreadsheets, no more reports or emails. Today I sit here, no longer an accountant. After 18 years of working at the same job, I have officially quit. No one forced me. There was no scandal, no shock. It's just that I no longer see myself in meetings, in deadlines. I'm tired of waking up at 6 a.m. just to catch the bus to a place I only want to leave every noon. Every day is the same, like a tape that keeps repeating. I used to think, just try hard, work hard, and you'll be fine. But then there comes a time when you look in the mirror and don't know what the person in there is living for. I don't want to continue like that for another 10, 20 years, and so, this morning, my first day of unemployment, I sit here. An empty notebook, a cup of bitter coffee, and a little freedom mixed with fear. But in my heart, a question rang out very clearly, if not now, then when? I still remember the first days of joining the company, the feeling of excitement when I put on a white shirt, went to work in black pants and stepped into a new world. In the mornings, I always felt like I was doing the right thing. I tried to work hard, constantly improve myself, attend all the courses, try to get promoted. But gradually, as each year passed, I found myself no longer having fun at work. That world now only had dry numbers, never-ending reports. Endless meetings, always plans, goals, deadlines. I no longer felt motivated or creative at work. I only did it out of responsibility, because of the expectations of those around me. I thought I needed something to change. But I didn't know where to start. Stable job, high salary, peaceful family, everything was fine, but why did I feel so empty? An indescribable feeling kept haunting me. I wanted to try something new, something that could help me find myself again. And that was the reason I chose to quit my job, because I didn't want to live in a stable situation without really living. My mother used to sell bread at the beginning of a small alley. Every morning, I woke up early, helped her roll eggs, and knead dough. The bread rose from the tiny charcoal stove, so fragrant that the neighbors just smelled it and wanted to come out to buy it. I loved the feeling of my hands covered in flour, then watching the bread turn golden brown. My mother often sang absent-mindedly every time she made bread. Once I asked her, "Mom, why aren't you tired?" She smiled, patted my head, and said, "Making bread means loving people. You have to put kindness into it, then people will find it delicious." Growing up, I forgot that. I was caught up in numbers, contracts, deadlines. I passed by brightly lit bakeries, but never stopped. Every time I smelled the smell of baked butter in the supermarket, my heart ached, but I brushed it off, thinking, I don't have time to daydream. It wasn't until I quit my job that I sat down and opened an old album. There was a picture of me, tiny, hands dipped in flour, face smeared with dirt, laughing out loud. And for the first time in years, I let the tears fall. I went online to find a baking course near my house. My hands were still shaking as I clicked register. But in my heart, something had just awakened. After deciding to quit my job, I found a baking course. The first few days, I felt very strange. I was the oldest in the class, and also the only one who had never baked before. The younger students were all proficient, while I just stared blankly at the mixer. Every class was a challenge for me. Every time I baked, I felt like I wasn't patient enough. My hands were shaking while I beat the eggs, and the dough stuck to my hands, unlike what I had imagined. But then, I remembered what my mother had taught me: baking requires patience. The first cakes I made were all failures. But gradually, I began to feel like I could do it. Every time the dough rose in the oven, I felt my heart swell with it. Turned out that I had forgotten that life is like baking. Failures are not real failures, but lessons for me to do better next time. It was not an easy journey, but it was worth it. The first weekend after completing the course, I decided to try opening a small bakery. I didn't dare to dream that I could succeed right from the start, but I wanted to try my hand, to do something truly meaningful. I set up a small bakery cart in the park near my house, with a few simple breads and cakes. At first, I only sold a few. People passing by looked at me with curious eyes. But then, a little girl stopped, looked at the cake I was selling and smiled. "Auntie, this cake is similar to the cake my mother used to make." Only then did I understand, cakes are not just food, but a way to connect, to share feelings. Even though I didn't sell much, I felt extremely satisfied. Each cake I made, each customer's smile was a small but valuable part of my life. Perhaps this was what I had been looking for all this time, a true way of living, a life full of meaning and love. I sat down at the table, opened my old notebook, and started writing. The first few lines were quite difficult, but when I finished, I felt relieved. I wrote to myself, words of thanks for not giving up, for having the courage to pursue what I truly loved. I don't know what the future holds, but at least now I feel like I'm living true to my heart. Dear Anne, thank you for not letting 40 be the end. but the beginning of a journey of kindness and freedom. Thank you for finding yourself again amidst the chaos of life. And thank you for loving these cakes, loving every little moment in life. Every day I wrote something new in my notebook. Small things, but important. And I know that, no matter how many difficulties lie ahead, I will continue. Because I have found a new reason to live. And that is the most precious thing I have.